This is Act 4, Scene 3, Part 2, and we are still in the middle of Brutus and Cassius's catfight of sorts. Let's see what happens.
I denied you not. You did. I did not. It was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath arrived in my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
A flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony, and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius. For Cassius is weary of the world. Hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and calmed by rote, but cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from my eye. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast, within a heart dearer than Pluto's mine, richer than gold. If thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold would give my heart. Strike, as thou didst at Caesar. For I know when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Okay, so this is very funny because Cassius they're both being very immature and crazy. You don't love me. No, I just don't love your faults. Well, if you were a good friend, you wouldn't see my faults. And Cassius throws this big temper tantrum and he says, "Oh, Antony, Octavius, come on over here." He's calling, figuratively the second triumvirate, "Come over here and have your way with Cassius," talking about himself. He's saying, "Come kill me now because I'm such a horrible person." And he's just basically trying to make Brutus feel bad. And then he unsheathes his dagger, which means he takes out his dagger and he rips open his shirt and he pushes the dagger towards Brutus and he says, "Just stab me now because you don't even like me. You liked Caesar. Even when you were stabbing Caesar, you liked him better than you liked me. So just take the knife and stab it in my heart." He's being very overly dramatic.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will, it shall have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced chose a hasty spark, and straight is cold again.
Has Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexed him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus,
What's the matter?
hath not you love enough to bear with me, when that rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus,
Cassius says, "Can you forgive me when I begin to act so angrily? I got it from my mother. I came by it honestly." And Brutus says, "All right, anytime you act like that, I'll just think about how you got that from your mother." And their relationship is just kind of sappy and very dramatic. Of course, this is time of war, and they're pretty sure that they could easily lose this war, so I guess that would make you a little bit on edge.
Let me go in to see the general. Maybe I've some grudge between them. 'Tis not meet they be alone. Nothing but death shall stay me.
How now? What's the matter?
For shame, you generals. What do you mean? Love and be friends as two such men should be, for I have seen more years, I'm sure, than ye.
Okay, a poet has just entered. He's the one that really just kind of finalizes the fight being ended. So this poet comes in and he is just goofy. He keeps speaking only in rhymes and he thinks he's just so hilarious. And I really like the reaction that Brutus and Cassius have to him right here.
How vilely doth the cynic rise!
Get you hence, sir, saucy fellow, hence.
Bear with him, Brutus. 'Tis his fashion.
I don't know his humor when he knows his time. What should the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion, hence.
Away, away, be gone.
Lucilius and Titinius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight.
Oh, and come yourselves and bring Messala with you immediately to us.
So they've been fighting with each other, fighting, and then they kind of start to make up, and then this poet comes in and he's rhyming, just kind of being really silly, and they both look at him and just think, "Wow, what a loser, what an idiot," and they kick him out of the tent, and they just kind of think it's really funny to kick him out of the tent, and so now everything's all better, and we're going to talk about war.
Lucius, a bowl of wine. Hello?
I did not think you could have been so angry.
oh, Cassius, I sick of many griefs.
Your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evil.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Portia,
She is dead.
how escaped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching loss, upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence and grief, that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong, for with her death that tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants absent, swallowed fire.
Okay, so Portia has passed away. She was so upset that Brutus left. She found out what happened and that he left, that she swallowed hot coals. Now she has committed suicide. And Cassius apologizes even more for being cross with him during the fight. He says, "How did you manage to hold your temper without killing me in such a hard time?"
And died so.
Even so.
Oh, ye immortal gods.
Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius, to the wine or swell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus' love.
Okay, so even though they were fighting so vehemently, the poet has walked in and made his jokes, and then we found out about Portia, and so the fighting is over, even though we know that Cassius and Brutus were fighting about taking bribes, okay? Who was the better soldier? Remember, I didn't say I was better. I just said I was older. How dare you, okay? And then finally, how they should operate and fund the army, how they're going to get money. We will see some discussion. They will kind of argue in a few minutes about whether or not they should move the army forward and attack Caesar's army, or if they should just wait and let Caesar's army come to them. So we'll see that.
Come in, Titinius. Welcome, good Messala. Now, sit me close about this table here and call in question our necessities. No more, I pray you. Messala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenor.
With what addition?
That my prescription handbills of outlawry Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators.
But our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their prescription, Cicero being one.
Cicero won.
Cicero is dead, and by that order of prescription. Had you your letters from your wife, my lord?
No, Messala.
Nor nothing in your letters read Arthur?
Nothing, Messala.
So the Second Triumvirate has killed at least 100 senators, and Cicero, that elderly guy, is one of them.
That methinks is strange.
Why ask you? Hear you aught of her in yours?
No, my lord.
Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then, like a Roman, bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by strange manner.
My farewell, Portia. We must die, Messala. With meditating that she must die once, I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so, great men, great losses should endure.
I have as much of this in heart as you, but yet my nature could not bear it so.
Well, to our work, alive. What do you think of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason?
This it is. And 'tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offence, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defence, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must of force give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand within a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up, come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off, if at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back.
Okay, so the fight here is Cassius says we do not need to march across Philippi to attack Caesar's army. We will waste food, we will waste our energy, and by the time we get there, we'll be on their turf and exhausted. So we need to wait for Caesar's army to come to us. Now, Brutus says, no, we have made so many people mad throughout Philippi because we've borrowed money and asked for food and asked for weapons, that they kind of don't like us. So if Caesar's army marches through Philippi, then those people who don't really like us might join his army, and by the time he gets to us, he'll have an even bigger and stronger army. Cassius says no, they'll be weaker because they've had to march and they've had to use all their food and all of their possibly even weapons. We know that Cassius tends to be the brains of the operation here, but we also know that Brutus tends to win out. So let's see in part 3.